Welcome back to Precision Trader University. Once again, guys, want to take you through and show you how you can use the most powerful tool in the stock market and turn this tool into your own use it to turn the stock market into your own personal little ATM. All right, before we get into our analysis, got a few housekeeping things to bring to your attention. One being we finally found a broker that will allow us, a prop firm broker that will allow us to trade stocks. Okay, if you're not familiar with prop firms, in essence, it's people that will allow you to trade their money in the stock market, which is really a no-brainer because you don't have the stress of trading your personal capital. You don't, capital that you trade with, you gotta pay taxes on that capital plus any profits that you make on that capital trading. So anyway, whereas if you're trading someone else's capital, you're not getting the double whammy for taxes there. Anyway, so just a lot of different benefits of trading someone else's capital. Again, there's a lot of prop firms out there, but again, when it comes to finding one that allows you to trade stocks in, yeah, it's very hard to find, very, very hard to find. And if they do, the rules around them are just ridiculous. For example, if you get to a prop firm and they have this really tight time constraints, or they're like, oh, you got to make this certain amount in this certain amount of time. You need 10% of your account in a month or something crazy like that. Again, most prop firms are designed to just take advantage of people donating money to buy these accounts. Okay, so that's just what it is. It really is a very, very no-brainer business if you like to take advantage of people, because it's like there's tons of people that think they can trade that don't have a lot of money that are willing. So needless to say, that's not something we have to worry about with this broker. This prop firm, there's no time limits, guys. There's no time limits. You can take as much time as you need, and it's extremely reasonable rules to pass. You got a nice protective downside drawdown. So anyway, needless to say, if you're a good trader, which at Precision Trader University, that's what we're developing, helping you to become a very, very skilled trader, precise trader. And honestly, it is something like this is set up beautifully for people that are serious about trading and know what they're doing and that really want to take advantage of stocks. Because the reality of it is, guys, I mean, if you're stuck just trading indices, futures, stuff like that, or Forex, again, you can do that, but you got to understand it's the uphill battle. It's so much steeper. Whereas if you're trading stocks and you understand the strategies along with Bookmap, man, you talk about, in essence, your incline is, you're in my opinion, you're almost walking flat. Yeah, you can say, it's a little bit, still a little steep, but at the same time, it's nothing compared to how much more difficult it's going to be for you. Sorry about my alarm there, guys. But anyway, so with that said, so that was housekeeping number one. The other housekeeping is as far as the Discord. If you are looking to join, need to jump on the bandwagon now. Prices will be going up. Our annual price increase, is coming up March number 1. So anyway, so the subscription will be going up, and also to the indicator course. Again, I know I share a lot of valuable stuff here with Bookmap, guys, but understand this is only a piece. This is only a part of what we have in Precision Trader University. Trust me, there is some extremely other powerful stuff that we use to take advantage of the market. So anyway, so if you haven't come over and checked it out, feel free to come. And if it's something you want to try out, like I said, March 1st is the deadline. Everybody will be locked in. Anybody that joined us before then will be locked into those prices. And again, the prices will not be coming down. There's no Black Friday sales, New Year sales. I don't play the price games, guys. It's either you get in with us or you don't. It's that simple. So with that said, that takes care of housekeeping. Let's jump into the plays. So Intuit. Now, why do I have Intuit pulled up? Well, if you watch previous videos, how do you find the plays? Because Bookmap is great, but Bookmap's not going to find the plays for you guys. Okay, just not going to find the plays. So that's where your ability to scan and find plays comes in. And It's pretty basic, guys. There's no fancy stuff going on here. Very, very, very basic. So with that in mind, let me pull it up. Our scanning tool here. So very simple here. We have our intraday chart, and we have our daily chart. So, and then we have our scanner here at the bottom. Trading view, very simple. Just hit the stock scanner button, adjust your filters. There's my filters. Very basic, nothing fancy here. And when it comes to my columns, this is my columns right here. Change from the open, pre-market change, float. That's all you really need. Make sure you save your columns over here so you don't have to keep setting them up again and again. So with that said, got some nice ones here. Intuit, we see beautiful. Okay, we actually have three. Intuit was actually number 2. Number 1 was LIN, but again, options not great on that to take advantage of. So wasn't gonna mess around with that. Like I said, we like to stick with ones with decent options, and Intuit and Regeneron both have options. Intuit much better options. But again, going back to trading fund capital, again, guys, you can say, man, this is a $700 stock here. Well, again, with fund capital, again, guys, you're trading other people's capital. So for example, I just started my challenge so I could start walking through the platform with the guys. Just opened it up a couple days ago, and sure enough, there we go. Regeneron. I can trade 2,500 shares of Regeneron. Okay, so yeah. So more than enough buying power for me to take advantage of Mr. Regeneron there, if you don't want to take advantage of it with options. So with that said, let's start out with Intuit. Again, what is the first thing we're looking at when we pull up the scanner? Well, we want to, first and foremost, come and check out what the ATR on the stock is. Again, we use the one ATR, not the ATR average, ATR adjusted down to 1. So we can see every individual day on the daily chart. So we can see get an idea. Also too, we can come here and see, we can see around earnings, the day of or the day after earnings. We can see what is its potential around earnings, because again, whenever we're right around earnings, we're looking for earnings, earnings kind of ATRs. We're not looking for averages. We want to see earnings ATRs. So with that said, we just had earnings yesterday on Regeneron. So we go back historically, look at the day before earnings. Okay, what did it do that day? Well, man, that day it did around 36 ATR on that day. So that tells us that, hey, Regeneron can absolutely knock out anywhere from a 25 to a 35 ATR day on that earnings or the day after earnings. So again, that's perspective. That gives us, because the last thing you want to do, guys, is get into a stock and you have no idea what this stock's potential is, what its average potential is. Okay, so with that said, understanding with Intuit here, $25 to $35 is very much doable for Intuit. I'm sorry if I've been saying Regeneron. But anyway, so with that said, we got our idea, 25 to 35, day after earnings or the day of earnings. That's our context. And then also too, we look here on our intraday chart, see because again, once you get to around $25, okay, that's going to run you right into a $10 increment, which is perfect. Okay, especially on these high flying stocks. Ideally, catching them around $10 increments is even better. Catching them around the $5. Okay, now we say 430 is a $5 increment, yeah, but at the same time, it's like I said, 425 versus 430. Like I said, you're going to have more liquidity on $10 increments like that. So keep that in mind. So let's flip over to Bookmap and see exactly what we're looking at. So again, keeping in mind, we're starting the day around 405. All right. So we know in our mind, okay, $25 to $35. Until it gets in that range, I'm not going to be trying to fight against it. If anything, if I'm going to be playing with it whenever it shows it's picked a very clear direction. Until that happens, I'm not going to fight against it. Okay? Do not fight against stocks until they start getting to their upper ends of their ATR, averages. Okay, that's when you start fighting against stocks. A lot of people try to short stocks or try to buy the dip on stocks while they're still, 50% through ATRs. and then you're just opening yourself up for a much greater potential of being wrong. So it's really that simple, guys. Now, one thing too I haven't mentioned in a while is check out your stocks in the pre-market. Okay, if there's something you're interested in, you see it, okay, pops up on the scanner, you go check out. Also, to look at it in the pre-market. If you, for example, you're into it, look at all of this while it was in here in the pre-market. Look at all this liquidity up here at 430. All this liquidity, and again, we know that liquidity acts as a tractor beam. Okay, sucks, just sucks gravitational pull. Now, if you'd have known that, hey man, look at all that, man, there's a really good chance. Now, if you were trying to catch momentum on this, that gives you some nice insight. So pretty much what you're thinking there, okay, I'm trying to play with this thing. I'm trying to catch some nice momentum. What am I looking for? I'm looking for something to get on to blast through a $5 increment, come back, pull support on it. Okay, whether that's 415, 420, okay? That's really my areas that I'm looking for, because again, I know 430 to 440 is the potential. Okay, 430 to 440 is what this stock can potentially do to the upside. All right, now if I'm looking to catch momentum, I'm looking for whenever it gets up to 410 or 415 or 420, that's areas where I'm really paying attention if I'm looking to jump on the bandwagon and ride it up into that ATR, those ATRs up in there. So let's see here. We jump into our chart here, and we see at the open, Intuit just starts blasting through the roof. Okay, just flying. Now I'm gonna flip back over for the chart for a second, just so we can get a little bit more context. Let's see here. I'm gonna bring this thing down to the 30-second, just so we can see even more detail on these candle finishes here. All right, not that I trade on the 30-second, but all right, so what do we have here? We had the blast up straight up into, okay, we blasted through 410, okay, got up to 410, bam, pulled back, we pushed through 410, pulled back on it, bam, there's your support around 410, there's your break back above, there you go. That's a place to jump on for momentum. As you know, in this case, chances of getting to 415, 420, very, very good. But let's say you miss that one, all right? So you get to 415, that's your next stop. Again, guys, we are trading around $5 increments, okay? If you make a habit of trading around $5 increments, whether that's playing the pullback money as it gets to them, or once it pushes through them, pulls back on them, and then breaks back above, play momentum. If you make a habit of doing that, I'm telling you, you'll have a lot of success in the market. A lot of success. So with that said, we get to 415. What do? They push up to 416, textbook push through. Okay, they pull back. All right, they pull back, because again, until they break back above this spot here at 416, that's going to signal you. Until they do that, you don't trust the stock. Okay, this is where we're shorting stocks. 415, 416, playing pullbacks on the SMLs and push throughs. Okay. Now, when they break above that push through spot, which is $1 through a $5 increment, once they break through that, that's the green light for, hey, we're off to the next $5 increment. It's that simple. So blasting up, 420, 420. Now, at this point, you get some crazy momentum, some volatility comes in the stock, crazy money, because this was also the pre-market, the earnings high for the pre-market aftermarket yesterday. So right there, because I can tell you a lot of people were trying to short right there. Ooh, yeah, that it didn't work out too well for them. Now, the thing is, let's just say hypothetically you got in this thing at 420. You're like, man, I'm going to try to catch a dump here at 420. All right, you have to understand this is the earning high of earnings, the high earnings high. So it's an explosive area, one where it's a pump or dump area. Well, in this case, it ended up being the pump. Now, the thing is, they blasted through 420 and they showed it no respect. What does that tell me? That tells me at some point today, they're going to have to come back to it. It is clockwork, guys. If you blast through one of these $5 increments, in this case, it was a 10, you blast through and you do not pull back, do any pullback respect on it. Like I said, normally it's $1 push through, pull back, bam, break back above. That's your momentum. Okay. That's what they have to do to show genuine momentum that's going to last. Okay. But if they blast through like this, no support, like I said, you in essence, man, you almost gapped. Okay. You almost gapped over. Let's see here. Yeah, gapped it. I mean, it was, no, this is the candle right here, 420, and bam, they straight up to 421. No pullback. See that right there? No pullback. Also the earnings high, and then they blast gap over it. All right, so what does that tell me? That's my line in the sand right there. They have to come back. They have to come back to this area at some point today. At a minimum, 421. Okay, at a minimum, more than likely 420, but they at least got to come back to that spot. So with that said, they start blasting, get up to 425, and they are still just flying. But again, keep in mind, based on our ATR in the past, we know it's $25 to $35. They have not got to 25 yet. 25 is not till $30. And that was also all that pre-market liquidity in Bookmap. Okay, so this is a situation here. Either, ride the momentum on these clear areas to jump in, while you're really still early in your ATR, back here at $5, $10 into the ATR. Okay, that's the time to jump, guys. That is the time to jump into stocks if you want to play momentum. Okay, whenever they're 30 to 50% into their ATR, they've got a clear direction. They got support on a $5 increment. That's it, or rejecting below, heading down. That's the time to jump into momentum, guys. Don't be trying to jump into momentum when something's all getting close to 70 to 100% of its ATR range. That's not the time. Okay. And again, your ATR, like I said, if you go into the upside, you're measuring it from the low. If it's coming, if you're trying to catch the knife on something, all right, you better be measuring from that top, below, and ideally you want to let it get to let it get down to around 100 or get up to around 100% on its ATR, just going to the downside. But again, it's way safer to the upside. Now, with that said, to 330 or 430 right here, guys, and we had a nice algo sitting right there. Beautiful, beautiful. Right around our 430, gets there, and literally immediately, as soon as it gets to that ATR, gets to that $10 increment, they drop this thing like a bad habit. And again, these are 30-second candles, guys. 30 seconds. So as fast as this run up was, when they broke through and they gapped over this spot right here, they gapped over this 420 to, gapped up over 420 right there. As fast as it was running it up, it was almost just as fast to the downside. So with that said, they came all the way back to 421. You had an algo sitting right there. They got back to that spot, but again, they still need to get back to 420. They still didn't run a retest on 420 yet like they were supposed to. They give that pop off because there was a $10 dump pretty much straight down. They pop back up, and then finally they make their way back down to 420, retest that like they were supposed to, and from there just some more chop. Yeah, so needless to say, if you're gonna play something on earnings or around earnings, you got to know what the earnings ATRs are, guys. Okay, and if it's not earnings, it's not the day before, the day of, or day after earnings, then hey, look at it as just the normal average ATRs. You don't have to worry about all of that. So anyway, like I said, I could go over Regeneron as well, but I don't want to take up a lot of time. But anyway, guys, it's the same thing. Okay, whether it's our SML strategy, short at major liquidity. Okay, and again, that's right at $5, just right at or just under the $5 increments. Okay, if you want to play it even safer, just focus on the $10 increments. The push through, taking advantage of that $1 pump through those levels, and it's sucking straight back into the SML spots. Hey, that's power. And then if catching momentum, guys, if you want to be a good momentum catcher, riding the wave. Again, identify your stocks, see what 30 to 50% into the ATR is, and start trying to catch them. Trying to catch them. And then once they get close to that, 70, 80, 100% of that ATR for the day, you better be bailing out around that next closest $5 increment. Do not make a habit of holding. Okay, a stock has to prove itself. Okay, if you're going to try to hold something through 100% ATR average on the day, it's going to have to prove that it can get through that $5 or $10 increment, push through it, pull back support, break back above, then you have the right to get back in it. But until then, you can't trust it. You just can't trust it, guys. So anyway, hope that helps you. If you have any questions on the prop firm, we got a channel in the server. Come check it out. Got all the details there. Also got a 10% discount for Precision Trader University members. So yeah, feel free to come check it out, guys, and enjoy the benefits that comes from trading serious capital. So anyway, with that said, that'll do it for this video. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day and their weekend, and appreciate everybody that made it to the end of the video.